praise Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Kakadash. Double honor and praises to Apostle Elders Jesus taught me the truth. And peace and blessing to the Akim that has their life daily, pushing the truth for sincerity. And to the Akwaf listening and learning, Shalom. Once again, my name is Aina with GMS Detroit Barcamp. And this is just a quick lesson on why you shouldn't observe these pagan holidays, these pagan holidays, especially Halloween's. I'm gonna try to pray that it's edifying to the hopeful elect and the 1/3, the true worshipers, the true Christians. Let's get this right. The true Christians are the Hebrew Israelites, not the so-called people that say they are the Christians. The true believers. The true believers will worship the Most High in spirit and truth, not in idol worship. Because the Most High will require the true worshipers worship Him in spirit and truth, and the Most High is work against idol worshiping, and let's start this video because this thing is going to start acting funny after so many minutes go by. I want to pray get this video started. It's from W Culture, why Christians shouldn't celebrate Halloween. Halloween is a devil holiday. The devil holiday, not a Christian observant. 25 October 2019. I'm doing it right now on so-called Halloween Day, October the 31st, 2021. The founder of the Church of Satan said that dressing up either by wearing a costume or coloring oneself for Halloween is a tantamount to worship the devil. Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan, himself declared that by dressing up or either wearing a costume or coloring oneself in celebrating of Halloween signifies that you allow Satan to own you. He further said that when you adopt the pagan practice, you subconsciously dedicate yourself to the devil. You took joy in Christians who take part in tradition, saying, I'm glad that Christian parents let their children worship the devil at least one night out of the year. Welcome to Halloween. LaVey's statement is corroborated by a former Satanist, John Ramirez, who said that when you dress up as an angel or a mermaid for Halloween, you give the devil legal rights to change your identity. Ramirez further warned that there is a darker reality in Halloween beyond costumes and candy. The former Satanist turned Christian pastor said in an interview on CBS October 20, 2018, I was a general to the kingdom of darkness in witchcraft. I would sit with the devil and talk to him like I am talking to you today. I was at a kind of communication. I was at that kind of communication. It was that kind of communication. It was that kind of a relationship. Christian teaching. It was more than 22 billion adherents. Christianity comprises about 31.50% among all organized religions in the world. It's the world's biggest religion. And based upon the CBN News Facebook survey, 87% comprise all Christians should not celebrate Halloween, while 13% believe that there's no problem in celebrating. Christians are taught to be the light of the world. In one scripture passage, we are instructed thus: "You are the light of the world." And this passage is talking about the elect. You know, don't get it twisted. You know, the true Christians, it was worshiping in spirit and truth. This talking about the elect, the 1/3, the 144,000 and 1/3. You are the light of the world, and the city set on a mountain cannot be hid, nor do the light of the lamp and then put under a bushel of basket. Is set on a lampstand where it gives its light to all the house, just so that your light must shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your heavenly Father. And this talking about the elect. You know, this talking about the elect and the 1/3. You know, your good deeds is supposed to draw in the elect and the 1/3. uh, uh, um, and glorify the Heavenly Father. Therefore, the Christian believers have a moral responsibility to educate their children regarding the evil that comes with Halloween, pumpkins, costumes, and trick-or-treating tradition. Adults should likewise lead by example to the young ones. Halloween history: the origin of Halloween can be traced back to the Celtic festival of Samhain, the tradition held at the end of summer. Then sacrifices were made to gods of Druid tradition, and it's a pagan god, a Druid tradition that here's believed that Samhain, the god of death, sanctified scattered evil spirits at this time throughout the world to attack humans. These evil spirits played nasty tricks as soon as the dark winter and the waning sun sets. To escape the attacks, humans would assume disguises to make themselves look like evil spirits too. Halloween is also the favorite time of the year which witches or advocates of Wicca. Wicca is the official witchcraft religion of witchcraft. Wiccan adheres to the belief of the night of October the 31st, separation of the physical and the spiritual realities, and it is the thinnest and at least regarded, and so that is the time for those who have necromantic abilities to speak to the dead. And and Christianity spread throughout Europe, and it came to conflict with indigenous pagan belief, and organized church basically challenged the established customs to trying to introduce Christian alternatives throughout Christianity to gain some converts. Many were adamant, and so missionaries succeeded only in Christianizing pagan rituals. They were only able to introduce Christian symbols and practices to pagan traditions like Hallow Eve resemblance. And what they did was they Christianized they Christianized the pagan traditions. So what they did, they took on the pagan traditions and absorbed it in the Christian customs. Missionaries injected the All Saint Day concept into pagan Halloween celebrations. They introduced the evening before All Saint Day and Halloween, when the time of the solemn remembrance of martyrs began. The term was derived as Hallow, which means holy, and All Hallow Eve was shortened to Halloween, which eventually became Halloween over years. The only difference between the two practices, it was early Christians' observance of Halloween never involved wearing costumes. It was rather solemn event focused on prayer and meditation. Sadly, though, pagan practice held remarkably strong influence that some of the new converts were unable to abandon their old customs altogether. And over the years, other Christians adopted those customs too. Besides commercializing, they came into play, and thus the practice of trick or treating, costumes, adornments, makeup, or body covering came very much into alive events alive even up to the present. And what they did, the pagan traditions overtook what the so-called the so-called Christian events. So what they did, the pagan traditions overtook the so-called Christian events traditions. So it became a pagan event. And what the scriptures say about doing shit like that, the scriptures say in Jeremiah 10:2, thus say Yahweh Shem Shai, learn not the way of the heathen, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathens are dismayed at them. And you're not supposed to learn not the way of the heathens. Hey, they learned the way of the heathens, and the true Christians will worship this. What the true Christians? Well, matter of fact, let me just get it. We know what we worship. Ye know not what ye know we ye worship ye know not ye know not what, because hey, you so-called pagan Christians, you do not know what you worship, because hey, you worship pagan Christianity. You have pagan beliefs. You worship the cross. You worship the images. You worship idols. We don't worship images. We don't worship idols. We don't worship the cross. Not the true worshipers. We know what we worship for salvations of the Jews. We know what the salvation when the Messiah, who the world inly calls Jesus, his name is Yahushua. When he returns, he's going to deliver the elect and the 1/3 of Israel. But the hour cometh, and now when the true worship shall worship the Father in spirit and truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. We know that the true worship don't worship the Father in spirit and truth. We know this. But y'all worship images and idols. But hey, the scriptures say this. When we was in the before we came to the land of Israel, that land, Canaan, before when them people was in that land, the Most High killed them in that land. And before we went into that land, hey, the Most High destroyed them in that land. This was the commandment that the Most High gave us not to do when we came into that land. This is Deuteronomy 8 and 9. When thou art to come into the land, which Yahweh Bashem Yahushai thy power given thee, thou shalt not learn and to do after the abominations of those nations. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter pass through the fire, or uses divination, or observer of a time, or enchanter, or a witch. or a charmer, or a consulter of with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. Slakia. So, hey, we ain't supposed to be doing none of these things. Hey, we ain't supposed to make our son pass through the fire, son or daughter, pass through the fire, sacrificing our son in the fire, or being soothsayers, or tarot readers, or card readers, or talking to familiar spirits. None of that shit, you know, or a consultant with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are abomination unto Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, because all these abominations, Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, don't drive them out from before thee. Hey, the Canaanites did that. That was in the land that was there before us. Thou shalt be perfect. Thou shalt be perfect with Yahweh thy power. For these nations which thou shalt possess, hearken unto observers of the times, unto diviners. But as for thee, Yahweh thy power, have not suffered thee to do so. So we're not supposed to do none of these things. We're not supposed to do none of that stuff that they did. None of it. And if we do any of that stuff, hey, the Most High is going to send us. It's already a wrap for us. It's a wrap, and I got scriptures on that. Matter of fact, here's an example right here. Matter of fact, this is one on King Samuel. This is 1 Samuel 15 and 22. Samuel said, this is King Saul. Samuel, the prophet, saying to King Saul, Samuel had said, have Yahweh have great delight in burnt offerings, as in obeying the voice of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. Behold, obeying is better than sacrifice, and hearken than fat of ram. For rebellion is the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, he had rejected thee from being a king. And when he rejected from doing what the Most High told him to do, Most High told him to go in there and kill all of them. But he didn't do that. So when he didn't do everything that the Most High told him to do, the Most High told him to kill everything in that land. He didn't do none of that. So he didn't do that. Hey, the Most High rejected him from being the king over Israel. So when he was about to die, this what Samuel did. This is First Samuel. I'm gonna try to make it quick. And this is First Samuel 28:1. And when it came to pass in those days, the Philistines gathered and their armies gathered together for warfare to fight against Israel. And Achish said unto David, I know thou surely that thou shalt go out with me to the battle, and thy men. And David said, Achish, surely thou shalt know that thy service can do. And Achish said to David, that thou shalt make thee a keeper of my head forever. And now Samuel was dead, and Yep, Samuel was dead. And all of Israel was lamented him and buried him in Ramah, and even his own city. And Saul had put away those familiar spirits and wizards out of the land. And the Philistines gathered themselves together and pitched in Shemun. And Saul gathered all the Israel together, and they pitched in Gilboa. And when Saul saw the host of Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart was greatly trembled. And Saul inquired of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, and Yahweh answered him not, and neither by dream, nor by Urim, nor by the prophets. And then Saul said unto his servant, seek me a woman that have a familiar spirit, that I may go and inquire of her. And the servant said, behold, there is a woman that have a familiar spirit in Endor. And Saul disguised himself and put on a raiment and went and two men with him. And he came to the women by night, and he said, I pray thee, divine unto me a familiar spirit, and bring me up whom I shall name unto me. And the woman said unto him, behold, thou knowest what Saul have done, how have cut off those have familiar spirits, and the wizard have out of the land. Therefore he layest thou a snare for my life, and caused me to die. And Saul sware to her by Yahweh, saying, as Yahweh liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this thing. And the woman said, whom shall I bring up? And he said, bring me up Samuel. And then the woman saw Samuel, and she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spoke to Saul, saying, why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul the king. And said unto her, be not afraid for what thou sawest, thou. And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. And she said unto her, and he said unto her, what form is he of? And she said, an old man cometh up, and he covered a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel, and he stooped his face to the ground and bowed himself. And Samuel said unto Saul, why hast thou disquieted me and bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and Yahweh departed from me and answered me no more, neither by prophet nor by dreams. Therefore I have called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what shall I do. Then Saul, wherefore dost thou ask me, seeing Yahweh departed from thee and become thy enemy, and Yahweh have done to him as he spoke by me? For Yahweh has rent the kingdom out of thy hand and given it to thy neighbor, even David, because thou obeyest not the voice of Yahweh, nor executed his fierce wrath upon Amalek. Therefore have Yahweh done this thing unto this day. Moreover, Yahweh will also deliver Israel with thee into the hand of Philistine, and the more thou shalt and thy son be with me. And Yahweh shall deliver the host of Israel in the hand of the Philistine. Then the Saul fell straight away along and along, and on the earth, and was sore afraid because the words of Samuel, and there was no strength in him, and he had eaten no bread all the day nor all the night. And the woman came unto Saul, and saw he was sore troubled, and unto him, and behold, thy handmaid obeyed his voice, and put my life in his hands, and he hearkened unto thy words which thou spoke unto him. And Saul, Samuel told Saul, Samuel told Saul, the point is, Samuel told him that, you going into the spirit world. And this is the point right here. Moreover, Samuel 1 and 28 and 19. Moreover, Yahweh also delivered Israel with thee into the hands of the Philistines, and tomorrow thou and thy sons be with me. Samuel's already in the spirit world. Tomorrow, Saul's going to be in the spirit world with Samuel. And the Lord also shall deliver the host of Israel into the hands of the Philistines. So, Saul knew that he's going to die that day, by tomorrow. So that was the point. But to make it even know, dealing with familiar spirits, the Most High can send evil angels unto you. You keep on messing around and doing things that the Most High don't like. The Most High could jack you up and send evil spirits unto you. Don't mess around with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, because the Most High can send evil angels unto you. So that's the point. So with that said, I pray that this video was edifying to the hopeful elect. So with that said, shalom.